The Fantasy Football Heroes and Villains podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Shady Rays. SGPN is teaming up with Shady Rays for Shady May. Get 50% off your Shady Rays using promo code SGPN. Then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500. And we're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. Just in time for summer, the SGPN store has a new line of mesh shorts. Use promo code SHORTS at store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com for 10% off. And the SGPN fantasy football team is giving away a Lamar Jackson jersey in the month of May. Leave a 5-star review on our Apple or Spotify podcast to enter. DM us your review at SGPN Fantasy on Twitter to confirm your entry. The winner will be selected May 31st. D-Gens assemble. Welcome to Heroes and Villains Fantasy Football, sponsored by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am your host, Justin Bruni. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Andrew, the TD King Raub. And our special guest this evening is Miss Hope Bishop. How are we doing, guys? How are we doing, Hope?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you guys for having me here. I'm excited. Talk some best ball, rip a BM draft. It's going to be a fun time.
Yep, absolutely. Andrew, how are you, sir?
Good, man. I mean, as you know, it's a little crazy in the Raub household with little Triton here. He's currently 2 weeks old today. Still 5 weeks early from the due date. So it is a testing time here in the Raub household. So I'm grateful to be able to be on here with you and Hope, and like she said, rip a best ball mini draft.
Absolutely. We appreciate you taking some time away from the fam. You getting some good sleep still? Are you up all night? What's up?
Yeah. So like obviously you're gonna experience this in a few months when you have your child, but kids come out not knowing what day and night is. So during the day, sleep all the time. At nighttime, not so much. So our sleep patterns are just as wonky as his is.
Colliding a little bit, just as ADP will as well, right?
Yeah.
We got Mr. Davis Peng in the chat. Is this the place to meet local best ballers in your area? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Clearly, no other interactions in the chat, so you'll have to try to pry it out of the folks over there, Davis. I'm gonna peek my head into the draft here. I actually just finished one, so right on time to enter another. I do have a couple of auto drafts because of this process of ours, so hopefully tonight I can not waste $25. I'm going to go ahead and back out. There are 3 more to start. I was able to save $25. That was very
nice.
Good.
There you go.
I'm getting a little better. I don't want to risk it. There was 3 more. I needed you 2. Didn't want to risk it. We'll give it like another 5 minutes or so. Hope, we'll just kind of ask you, like right now, who are some ADP risers for you? Who are some players that you're starting to prioritize a little bit more in your Best Ball Mania drafts?
Yeah. So one of my favorite guys this year, and he hasn't risen as much as I thought he was going to at this point. But it is Ramondre Stevenson. I've talked about this a little bit on my stream. One of my favorite picks right now, you can still get him in the mid-3rd. And I think they didn't take anyone in the draft. I know they brought in James Robinson, and there's the worry with the Patriots. They always have that committee aspect to them. And they took a couple guys last year with Pierre Strong and Kevin Harris, who are, we'll see mid-round rookies. But I think this is Ramondre's backfield. I think I'm wanting to draft a lot of him right now. And I think he's going to end up in the 2nd round as the summer proceeds. So
get him while he's hot. I love it.
Absolutely.
I was loving Ramondre's surge last year, so I would love for it to continue. But man, just got to get through Bill first. Got to get through Mr. Belichick first.
Yeah, that is the worry.
I hope I know you and I share a favorite really late round guy in Jerome Ford. Do you think that someone's going to sign there and screw up our exposure right now? Because honestly, I think Jerome Ford was one of the biggest winners from the draft. I mean, the Browns didn't really do anything to back up Nick Chubb. So I think it's Jerome Ford's job, behind Nick Chubb. But do you think somebody goes there and do you think he kind of falls back on the depth chart?
I think it's definitely a worry. Kareem Hunt is still lingering out there. He's got experience with the coaching staff from being there the last few years. So that is a worry. But right now, yeah, he's one of my favorite late round picks, like you said, with him having that pass catching ability, them not bringing one in. He seems like a smash pick right now, but there's always that in the back of your mind. I kind of still have that with Tony Pollard. Like I still think they're going to bring someone else in. And not that, they'll make me scared to draft Tony Pollard, but maybe he could slide back a half a round or something if they bring Zeke back or bring in Lenny or something like that.
Right. Well, we also have Dalvin Cook. Looks like he's going to hit the market here at the end of the month. He's going to be available. Like you said, Zeke's still out there. I mean, there's definitely a couple of, about 4 running backs. I mean, you mentioned them all there. Kareem Hunt, Lenny Fournette, someone that I've been drafting a ton of, even since the big board. Dalvin Cook potential on the move. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of shifts here. I'm going to peek my head back in. I did once more, but there was still 2 to start. 10 more, jump on in.
All right.
Jump on in. That goes the same for the family chat.
Yes. All right. 8 more.
Yeah, we're going to be all set there. Yep. Need 11 in the next one.
Okay. Paul's probably in this one.
Probably. Is that what I was inverted?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out, I was inverted. He's in a lot of our drafts.
Yeah, so I know that's probably a favorite username of yours, Justin, as a Top Gun fan.
Yes, it is a good one for sure. Indiana Jones isn't bad. It's just it's not a bad one. Or no, he's Team Ramrod.
Yeah, he's Team Ramrod. He's Indiana Jones on Twitter. Yeah, he's also a fellow Top Gun guy.
That's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one as far as puns go with your name. We got 2 more to start here, and we're gonna get the order going. Hope, is there anyone that's falling down your boards? Anyone in particular that you're just like, no, I'm good.
Besides Mike Evans.
Fine.
Besides Mike Evans, yeah, that whole Tampa situation is tough. Like, I actually don't hate either of them. I just didn't like on that one stream how we built that team together with the rest of the players who took on it. But no, it's tough right now. Some of these rookies, they're not falling, but I'm kind of starting to shy away because I feel like these rookies are getting boosted up because of what's happened in previous years with Garrett Wilson going, double-digit rounds and us and him smashing, obviously all the way back to Jamar Chase. So now I just think with rookies, you're paying the price for what the guys did in the past, and people aren't accounting for this class not being as good as those other classes.
Right. Looks like I'm at 110. Hope is at 19.
19.
I'm in uncharted territory for Best Ball Mania so far for myself. 14.
Okay, all right. Top 5 pick.
I'm not going to
try to get her up on the board here, so everybody.
So what do we got here? We got so I was inverted 1-2. I'm 1-4. Team Ramrod 1-5. Hope you're 1-9. Justin 1-10, and Dilly 1-12. Anybody else that is in here that maybe I missed?
Let's see. I don't recognize any of the other names, but
D's and Naders. I've seen Vinny D in the streets, but I don't know who he is or her. Don't know.
It's funny how many times you hop in a draft, you're like, oh, I've drafted with that guy and that guy, that person, and that girl, and yeah.
Absolutely. Especially, I don't know if you guys play any of the daily stuff, but it's all the same names almost every day.
Yeah.
All right. Haven't picked from the 1-9 yet in BBM, but I usually go receiver at the late part of the first round. I feel like that just, I don't know, it just feels the best where you can get these 2nd, 3rd round RB values instead of taking an Eckler or a JT right now for me.
Yeah, we're very pro wide receiver push. We're pushing receivers over here.
Yeah, as I'm sitting here contemplating taking CMC.
Well, at pick 4, I think that's pretty valid.
CMC is different than those guys.
Yeah, and him falling to 4, someone pulling up Kelsey to 3. I mean,
that Kelsey.
I guess you got to get different, but
that is interesting.
It's interesting.
That's different.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing with Kelsey?
Oh man, I know I asked you on your stream a little bit ago. I kind of brought this up, but it's an interesting thing for me because it feels gross to take a tight end so early, but it's Travis Kelce, right? Like you take him and you don't really have to worry about tight end the rest of the time if you don't really want to. So I think it's okay to take him around 6, 7, somewhere in there, but I won't take him any earlier. I'm not going to move him up past 6. I mean, 6 is the tippy top for me. That's where he should be going, I would feel. But honestly, like I would like him to drop back and a little bit more if possible.
Yeah, I wish he was a turn pick this year just with the potential age fall off, even though, I mean, he just did it, at 33.
Right.
And so now he's 34. So I think that is a little bit funny. Like, he
I
can't do it
think if
again.
Sean McVay keeps talking, he's going to pole vault Cooper Kupp up to number 3.
Yeah.
He's calling Matthew Stafford a human jugs machine right now. The guy that was supposed to be retiring like 3 weeks ago, so just let the coach talk seep in.
Tough pick here. I just said I usually go receiver, but Bijan did fall a couple spots. I'm going to go ahead and grab Bijan here, actually.
Cool. Love it. Makes it easier for me to take CD because I thought that's where you were going to go.
Yeah, CD's a tough one. I am slightly worried about the comments from McCarthy in that offense. But I know a lot of people like him. You like him. Davis likes him a lot. So it's something I need to reconsider. And he's going to be the wide receiver 1 and the alpha target there. Just worried about that pass volume a little bit.
I think they need to add another running back for us to be like overly concerned because right now with Tony Pollard and Deuce Vaughn, I mean, are we really worried about Rojo touching the field like a ton?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, believe me, I've banged the Rojo drum plenty, but I've got to step away, put down the drumstick. Like, no, like
that's
just
a good
say
point.
no.
Right? Like, they don't really have that big back to give the ball to, which because like as much as we want it to be Pollard, they've never trusted him with a big workload. And so, he gets there a lot on efficiency and through the air. So that's a good point. I
could see maybe Dalvin Cook going down there. That's a big spot, a good, ball moving offense. Not really that dissimilar to, to Minnesota, but I was thinking about it, where Dalvin Cook could wind up as I'm on the clock here. And the first place I started looking was the Vikings schedule, which I think is a pretty good place to start. And I came up with the Bucks and the Chiefs. So I'm going to go a little wide receiver running back combo. Give me Saquon.
Nice. I am going to go ahead and grab Amon-Ra here. I was thinking you might go Amon-Ra there for that week 17 with CD Amon-Ra.
I was thinking about it. I have that matchup circled here for our week 17 conversation. That is the biggest matchup, in my opinion. Like, when I think of like the highest scoring total potentially that week, it's Detroit and Dallas for sure.
Yeah. That was the one that immediately jumped out to me as my favorite game of week 17.
Definitely. See some interesting starts here. We got DKM Dilly going double RB, Eckler and Taylor. We've got CTH Rilla going with the Philly stack, Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. Ramrod keeping it simple, receiver. Same thing for Vic Irino here, Hill Waddle. I've done a couple of Hill Waddle stacks here recently, one with Tua, one without. Can't really hate on it too much. It's just kind of the ADP game, and if you're into that really heavy stacking, I just don't hate it.
Yeah.
Here comes the Mahomes pick, right on cue.
So, Hope, how do you like to structure your teams? Are you jumping in drafts and just kind of letting the board tell you what to do? Do you have a specific thing in mind that you want to accomplish in the draft? Like, what does your roster construction look like? Are you trying to go for 2 QBs, 3 QBs? Like, tell the people kind of how you go into a draft and what you expect to take.
Yeah, so I really let the room come to me. I don't have a favorite. I mean, I guess I would say hero or anchor, whatever you call it, RB is my favorite strategy. But I've done tons of 0 RB. I've done a couple of the hyper fragile, like starting 3 straight RBs. It's not my favorite.
It's tough.
Yeah, it was a gross build. I think I had like the 102 and took CMC, and then just all the receivers went, and so I went like Pollard, Ramondre.
Okay.
I didn't love the team when it ended. So, but I try and let the room come to me. In that example, all the receivers were gone, and the running backs were just the best picks. So I did try and build that way. But it's really important for me too with like roster spend and not overcommitting. Like, once you've taken a certain position, say it's receiver, and like maybe you get an awesome ADP fall from a receiver, but like you have to be cognizant of where you're at in the draft as far as like if you have one running back at that point, and there's some guys you like on the board. I kind of am trying to be more cognizant of like what I've spent in the draft so far.
No, I love that. And I think if you keep that type of mindset, you're going to have a balanced roster no matter what, like at the end of the draft. Because if you do go early QB, you're just obviously should be backing it up with later QB, vice versa with your other positions.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
Just because Lamar falls maybe 6-7 picks, like if you take Kelsey, it's still a no. Like for me, at least for me, that's my opinion.
I'm liking Gilbert C's start here. This is similar to what I've done in the recent days. He went Jefferson, Hero, QB, and Josh Allen, and then got a potential hero RB and Derrick Henry, someone that can really carry you. Derrick Henry going to have a very lovely Week 17 matchup, Houston Texans.
Then Week 15.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
dang.
He doubles up the Texans. Yeah.
Damn. Yep. That's just great for fantasy. Like, just for like your regular fantasy redraft in dynasty leagues. That's fantastic.
It is.
Yeah, man who goes for like 200 yards every time he plays them. I mean, it's pretty nice to have in the fantasy playoffs.
It's like the new version of Who's Your Daddy with Pedro Martinez. what I compare it to. So we got Hope on the clock here. Got an RB and a receiver so far.
Man, I don't love the receivers here. I'm just going to take Lamar. I think I'm so excited for the Ravens. Everything they've added around him. And a lot of the coach speak coming out with the Todd Monken hire. Like it seems like this offense, is going to be a lot improved, a lot more passing. So yeah, I'm grabbing Lamar a lot.
This is a tough one. And
I like him too, because like even if I miss on Andrews here, he's got plenty of stacks later. I can grab one of, and then Lamar's a guy you don't have to, overstack if you don't want to. So yeah, I like Lamar a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say he's one of those guys that you don't even need to stack if you really don't want to. I mean, he has that rushing upside, and those guys are super valuable even if they're not stacked.
I was back and forth there between Gibbs and Najee Harris. Najee Harris went a pick later. I still feel good about taking Gibbs, kind of bringing back that Week 17 potential correlation, and I just feel like he's going to be the PPR back in this system. Like I know that David Montgomery is a big, strong back. He's got a good frame, and he does catch passes, but I just feel like Jahmyr Gibbs has to be that change of pace guy for them. And I could probably back up that pick with Montgomery not long from now.
Yeah, I love Jahmyr Gibbs, and I think like for as much as I think that they didn't like DeAndre Swift. He still like had a lot of spike weeks last year, or a lot, probably 3 or 4 spike weeks. And so I think if in that role with someone they're excited about, in which they obviously are, if we saw that draft reaction to them picking Jahmyr Gibbs, like I think he's going to be a stud for them.
Man. Take Hopkins a little bit ahead of his ADP. I'll be all right with it.
Yeah, but that's where he's going to go. Where if he signs with a contender, that's where he's going to go. He's going to go above all these guys.
Yeah. I had been a little leery of DeAndre Hopkins, but I took him today in the BBM I did earlier. Because I still think like we saw when he came back, he had caught a ton of balls, and there's always that possibility of a trade.
Oh, he's got to be moved still. Like, I have to imagine he's on another team.
You're just taking him because there was he was getting on the plane to Chicago. What was that, yesterday? Yeah. So,
right.
You're just taking him because you think he's going to go on the Bears.
Gosh, that would be great. That would be great.
I've been stacking him sometimes with Josh Allen just in case he goes to the Bills.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually going to, but man, that would be fun.
Mike Robb in the chat saying Hopkins will get juiced up. Yeah, like right now you're getting in on him ahead of an ADP shift. I feel the same exact way about Madison, Dalvin Cook. I actually took Dalvin Cook and Madison on the same team in my last draft because I just know that both of them are going to have big shifts at the end of this month. It's less than like 2 weeks away. They're both going to climb very quickly. So yeah, I definitely believe that there's going to be some juice to his value coming. And Hopkins, that move could be a month away, months away. Who knows? So hopefully they get an interested partner, but they've also talked about just releasing him, which would happen most likely the same time around Dalvin Cook hitting the market.
Yeah, get your Madison now if you can. Like that's something I wish when BBM opened, I would have gotten some more of him. I feel like he was just always gone ahead of ADP, which makes sense now. I actually got him today on that draft I did as my RB2.
Nice.
I'm kind of an anchor with Pollard, so I'm going to try and add him because he's still like, even though the rumors are out there, until it like once it actually happens, there will still be even more of a reaction from like the overall market. So I still think you can get him now at a value, even though he's probably risen a few picks since the news earlier.
Exactly. Andrew, after you make this next pick, you want to hit a quick word from the sponsors?
Yeah, let me throw on the old sponsor Shady Rays here.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Rob was trying to make a steroid joke. Sorry.
Yeah, I think this comment's even funnier. They went limp and flat.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely more direct.
Well played, Mike.
I like it.
Ramrod stealing my Justin Fields. Oh, that's all right. He wasn't going to make it back to me. That's probably what I've seen like the most different from draft to draft is how drafters are, valuing the quarterback position. I feel like it's always different. Like there's some that bring them all the way up to like, pick 13. There's some that are waiting all the way to like pick 19 or 20 to start them. So it's been really tough to gauge that from draft to draft.
Yeah, it seems like Herbert, Burrow, Fields seem like the best values. Just because the 2 rounds makes a big difference in like players you can get if you don't take a quarterback. So like I think Herbert's an awesome pick right now.
Oh man, I'll do Scary Terry to do the.
I don't know if I like it backed up with Josh Allen though. Like if you just took Josh Allen 2 rounds ahead, yeah, you don't need to draft another quarterback for the rest of the draft probably, but top 5, I just feel like that's expensive.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice they had Josh Allen already.
I was liking that team.
All right, so Shady Rays is teaming up with SGPN for Shady May. Not only do you get an amazing 50% off, but you also have a chance to win $500. Shady Rays has you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays has durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. And for our international listeners, Shady Rays has you covered as well, with shipping to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. Go to shadyrays.com and use promo code SGPN for 50% off of 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Then take your receipt to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500 Shady May contest.
And you've already got the shades, and now it's time to get a great pair of mesh shorts for the summer. SGPN has dropped a new line of mesh shorts perfect for any summer activity. My favorite activity is still, since the last show, doing stuff for my pregnant wife. Just running around the house, not wearing, real pants or jeans or anything. Like when you're running up and down all these floors, like, you got to have some motion. You got to have some movement. That's all I got. That's all I'm doing.
You just said not wearing real pants. That's
they're mesh shorts. They're not pants.
I'll tell you what, Justin, you look like you just stepped out of Top Gun with those glasses on.
Bang. Yeah, these are my favorite. I got these other ones from Shady Rays, because I didn't want to come out here like, as a poser with like just some gas station glasses. But you see how like these like literally blend in?
Yeah, I do see that.
You can barely see me. So I had to go with the more aviator approach. And also, I'm on the clock. And also, give me some more Dalvin Cook here. A couple shots ahead of ADP, but I'll take it.
Where do you want him to go?
Me personally, yeah. I like those landing spots. The Chiefs would be amazing. Oh my God,
it's true.
That would be insane. I don't think the Bills is out of the question. People are like, but he wants his brother to do good.
But let him cook.
Yeah, but they're brothers. Like you wouldn't want to play in the NFL with your brother. You know what I mean? Like, and James Cook and Damian Harris aren't established like guys. You know what I mean? Like 1-year deal. Like, I don't know. I could see it.
I could see that. I would hate that for all my Damian Harris shares, but that would
absolutely.
That would be a good fit.
No, there's a lot of places. I mean, if you just look at the board, you guys had mentioned Jerome Ford earlier. I love Jerome Ford, but add Dalvin Cook to that lineup, get out of here. And we've seen them do it. Like, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. I think there was at least 1 year they were both top 12.
Probably. I'm not sure.
I thought it was their first year together. I thought they were both top 12, but it's a situation where either guy, instantly just becomes a huge value if the other one gets hurt. But
I think your Dallas idea, that was something I haven't really thought of, but that does seem like such a thing Jerry Jones would do. Bring in the star who maybe is aging a little bit. He's still good. But yeah, that just seems like a big Jerry Jones thing to go grab Dalvin Cook, bring in the name.
Didn't he like lead the league or third in the league in like yards after contact last year?
Yeah, he's not like over the hill like I'm, a normal Cowboys free agent, but I
love it.
Yes,
it would just seem like that would be a It's a good move for them.
The Rams, I mean, yeah, there's just a lot of opportunity for Dalvin Cook. So I wouldn't be surprised if he left actually, and they wound up adding somebody else like a Lenny or a Kareem, you know, something like that to complement Madison. Because was it Kenny Nwangu and Dwayne McBride? Is that
yeah, he's there.
They just drafted him.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's enough. Not in the NFC North right now. These other teams, they're a lot better at running. The Lions, the Bears, the Packers. I saw Luke Getsy today, not overcommitting to any running backs. That, you know, breaks your heart a little bit.
The situation is tough, right? With the Bears, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know, because I feel like I like all three of the running backs they have. I just have no idea what to do.
Same. I've been grabbing a lot of Khalil recently, especially on like the zero RB approaches. I feel like he's when he's a guy that gets volume, he does really well. Like in games where he's gotten 18 plus touches, I think like 5 out of the 6 of those games, he has like 100 all-purpose yards and at least a touchdown. Like he just hasn't had the opportunity. He can't stay healthy. And Foreman was an absolute, you know, hero for people last year, you know, and just fantasy in general. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he's awesome. Like, it's tough. And Roshan was a draft crush, you know, all the stuff about him being great, receiving, good in pass protection. And so, you know, I hated seeing him go there, kind of like the Zach Charbonnet to Seattle. It was just frustrating for fantasy, but
Anthony Richardson, once again, just going higher and higher. God.
7.
Get him, Ginder. Get him.
Jesus.
Defend yourself. Get in here.
The 4 RB.
Davis, are you referring to Chicago there? Is that some Justin Fields slight there?
Pretty good.
It might be Justin Fields slight. That one RB could throw.
I've heard worse, boys. Oh man.
Honestly, I'm just gonna plant my flag on Roshan. I just think that he has the best skill set out of any of those guys, and eventually he'll just take on the job.
And it's also just the value, right? Like it's not projected anything here on Underdog. He's going in the depths of, you know, round 16 or later, you know, pending your draft. So you're just getting the value. I like backing him up with, you know, a Foreman or a Herbert if I can still. Like I think if you get 2 out of those 3, I think you're going to be in good position. I think it's best ball at the end of the day. You just get the best one.
Yeah.
It's not a bad situation.
No, it's not bad at all to have all of them. Not all of them, but have 2 of them.
Yeah.
Hope, is there any teams that you're just like completely off of, that you're just not taking like anybody from?
The Texans are the one for me. I mean, Schultz I am taking. I don't know. Like, I think me and Davis have this discussion sometimes. Like, there could be fantasy relevance from every team at, you know, whether it's big or small. But the Texans receiving core is such a mess to me. Robert Woods is there. You know, Nico, Mechie, Tank Dell. Like, none of those guys are exciting. Plus, like, they have a pretty good offensive line. I think they're going to run a lot with Singletary and run a lot with Dameon Pierce, obviously. So I'm not really taking much of the Texans stacks at all, really. I'm not stacking Carolina much, but Mingo's exciting just because of his profile and being in the draft capital he got. So I'm mixing him in, but stacking those 2 rookie QBs with, I don't know, potentially low ceilings in year 1 is something I'm not doing that much of right now, but we'll see as the offseason goes.
Yeah, I have very few shares of Stroud and Young. When I have gotten them, you know, I've tried to get, you know, Schultz, Mingo, like you said. Those are the ones that are most appetizing. I've taken Robert Woods, though, in the last round, and you know what? I don't feel that bad about it. Round 18, Robert Woods, a lot of experience, probably plays a lot of snaps, at least early on until, you know, he's not healthy or gets hurt.
See, but do you think that he really is going to boom at all? Like, wouldn't you rather just take like Xavier Hutchinson or? I
thought about that. And I do think there is at least like 1 or 2 weeks where you might just see Robert Woods score 2 touchdowns. Like when you get into the red zone, there's only so many targets. There's only so many guys that you're really going to count on to be sure-handed. I think Stroud leans on those type of experienced guys in a Schultz, maybe a Robert Woods until, again, like he's just not healthy. Believe me, I could see Robert Woods playing 4 games and calling it. You know what I mean? Like retiring at halftime type of situation. Texans. Who knows what could happen? But if he's there and he can be healthy for 5 or 6 plus games, I do feel like there's like at least 1 or 2 weeks where he could boom.
Yeah, and him running out the slot, for a rookie quarterback, easier throw to complete. So I could definitely see him having some games where he has a lot of catches.
Mm-hmm. I do like Xavier Hutchinson, though. He's going undrafted.
Yeah, so do I. Oh, I like him a lot.
Yeah, I showed you that or maybe I didn't show it to you, but I still have it on my phone. That screenshot of someone taking Tank Dell at like 9.9. Like, what?
Yeah, that's absurd.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Mike Clay, by the way, speaking of Xavier Hutch disrespect, Mike Clay dropped his like rankings of like all the teams and all the receivers on each one. He had the Houston Texans like way down at the bottom, which they probably should be for receivers, but he didn't even put Xavier Hutchinson on the list.
Jeez.
He didn't even put him on the team. The hell? Come on, Mike Clay. Come on, brother.
Yeah, he had a lot of production in college. Like, I'm kind of shocked by that.
Doesn't make Mike Clay's Houston Texans projected roster, apparently. I didn't know. I was like, I'm looking at this. I'm like, I don't know how this correlates to fantasy whatsoever. I was actually kind of like dogging on the list a little bit, but then I was like looking at it. I'm like, this guy doesn't even have like the orders right. Like he's got like Isaiah Hodgins like buried at the very bottom of the depth chart. I'm just like, guys, like Sterling Shepard, come on. Like he's closer to a player coach than he is a starter. Like, drives me crazy.
That giant slot receiver situation is such a mess. Like I'm ready to get that solved. Like I'm ready for camp to get here.
It's not going to happen.
I know.
They're not going to tell us anything.
I know.
It's so bad. No, Jalen Hyatt was listed as the last guy on that list. Like, what? Like, come on now. I think Wandell was number 1, which I don't hate, but still, like, he's such a low ADOT guy. I just don't see how he has a ton of usage in that offense.
Hope, who are some of the favorite tight ends that you like to go after? It doesn't have to be any of the top guys, like just late tight ends.
So, well, I like David Njoku a lot. He's just drafted. He's been my guy of like trying to middle that elite tight end and hoping that he makes that leap up into that next tier next year. So he's someone I really like more in the middle. I take a lot of Tyler Conklin, just as the Jets starter. Rodgers throws a lot to the tight end. I mix him in a good bit. I throw Jelani Woods on Anthony Richardson stacks late. K. Dotton, I'm taking him. Especially, on some of the sites that do 20 rounds, I'm taking him over there a lot. I think that he showed and flashed a little bit, and he's going to be out there as their starter. So I think he's someone late that doesn't get drafted that much that you can target.
Mm-hmm. I've been drafting a lot of Trey McBride because he's like super late. Do you think that there's a difference between like him and Zach Ertz? Like, do you think Ertz is going to kind of disappear in that offense? I know that offense is just kind of going to suck for a while, but do you think that there's any value in Trey McBride at all?
Yeah, I think so. I think he flashed down to the end of the season. We kind of saw the meme correlation from last year with Tyler Algier and Zach Ertz that Davis Maddock talked about. It actually came true with McBride and Algier. So I think he flashed. He was a second round pick, right, last year. And then the Ertz situation, we're just still seems like he's going to be playing again, but it's a pretty serious injury, and so I'm fine mixing in McBride a lot, especially because that offense is it going to be Colt McCoy as the quarterback or
Jeff Driscoll?
Yeah, I think so. At least until Kyler.
Either way, like
back.
he's probably
Carson
someone
Wentz.
Well, yeah. God. Please no. Please no. Oh.
But no, yeah, I like Trey McBride as well.
I'm steaming up Chig a whole lot. I really like him a ton. I think that he has he's one of the tight ends that could potentially lead his team in targets at the end of the season. So I like Chig a whole lot. Not that I need to tell anybody that because everyone knows that, but by now.
Yeah, Chig is awesome.
I've got lots of running backs. This is a little different.
So kind of tell the people, Hope, a little. Oh, here, actually, I'll let you make your pick, and then I'll ask you a question here.
What I want to do here, and I really want to pick Devon A-Chain for that week 17, but I think I need a little bit more help. I'm gonna go P Ryan for a more consistent role. Or at least I think it will be, unless they bring someone in over him.
Ryan.
Oh yeah, we're
big favorite in the zero RB approach.
So tell the people a little bit how you are drafting or taking your 150 and kind of splitting it up at all between actually the fantasy playoffs, week 17 correlation, and then just trying to win as much as you can in the regular season money?
It's tough because it's such a new format that we don't really know the best way to kind of structure for both. I think there's a way you can kind of middle it where, I am building week 17. I'm keeping that in mind and keeping the playoffs kind of the first thing I think about. But then also like guys who maybe are injured or suspended that I don't love anyway, kind of just not drafting them at all. Like I haven't picked Kyler yet. I don't know. It's nice BBM is open for so long, so we're going to get a clearer look at where he's at in the timeline for him, as the season approaches, whether it's going to be 4 games, does he miss more than that, or does he miss any? But guys like that, I'm not picking as much with the regular season in mind. James Williams is a tough one because he's, awesome for best ball. I'm a big spike week guy, but he's just tough. Missing 6 games is going to make it hard when, your 10th, 11th round pick or earlier is missing 6 weeks. So I think you can kind of middle it where you build for week 17 and keep the good structure, but then also kind of pay attention to, maybe those other guys and their situations.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys doing?
I'm going to try
I'm winning $3 million, so that's what I'm playing for.
No, I'm going to try to do both. I think I'm going to split it probably 70-30 between 70, going after the full prize and 30 kind of going after the regular season prize. I think there's value in doing both. And like you said, it's kind of unprecedented right now. This is the first time we're doing anything like this. So I think that if you want to go for the regular season money, it's a good time to do it since, not everyone has a clear strategy as to what to do.
Yeah. And I think that balanced roster construction a little bit more, like paying attention to your roster spend to make sure you're not, lagging at a position helps for the regular season. More so where, you can be a little riskier if you're just going for those playoff weeks and, a lot more zero RB can work for those versus a regular season prize, which both can work. I mean, we saw it last year where the regular season first place hit basically every zero RB target you needed. So I mean, really anything can work as long as you're staying in the structure, your good roster allocation. Like I think that works for both.
Yeah. When are you trying to fill your 150 by? Are you trying to have like 10 more to go with like that last week remaining, or are you trying to just fill it up as quickly as possible?
I'm not filling up as quickly as possible. I'm wanting to spread it out. The barbell works, it makes sense of why it would work, but I don't, we've seen the winners drafted in June. We've seen them drafted in July. We know better teams, higher scoring teams are drafted the later you pick. But that's a double-edged sword because also all your competition's teams are higher scoring later as well. Let's see. Let me grab this pick real fast and then. Gotta go ahead and grab.
Not really a dynasty show tonight, brother.
Off.
I would say yes, though, to that question.
I'm trying to remember what the bye weeks are. This is
Commanders week 14. So that's all I can remember right now.
Oh no, I've got a Google sheet over here because I don't know. I picked the Ravens and the Lions, and I don't know if they have.
When are they going to get the buys up here, man? Come on now.
Rudman said early.
It's next week,
early
right?
this week, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. We've had the schedule for a minute now.
Yeah. I know. That seems like
doing over there?
I don't know the tech side, but it seems like it'd be pretty easy to get that on there. I don't know. But
we got a cool graphic from SGPN that they just put out that has all the buys and like the full schedule. Very nice for best ball correlation for sure.
Yeah.
Looks like
all 50 on July 18th. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, if you can pull it off.
Is that when Karain won it?
Mm-hmm.
July 18th, right? Yeah.
Him and the regular season winner drafted on the same day.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did see that. Good call, Paul.
It's crazy.
That is nuts.
Paul.
Like,
I'm gonna do it the day before. Just kidding. I'm up to we're up to we're almost 40 now for me, and I feel like I'm spreading it out.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's tough.
Damn.
Trying to like figure out the timing for all these different drafts. All the different contests. I kind of skipped this first puppy. And I've been drafting a little bit over on DK, but then still mixing in BBMs now that we've got the schedule. Let's see here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to be different at the very end of drafts, just trying to be a little funky with it. I've drafted some Marvin Jones, with my Detroit stack, stuff like that. I think there's a lot of moves still that, like similar to that, they're going to be progressed through the summer. And as long as you're keeping a sharp eye on some of these teams and just like their depth chart, how they look right now, I think there's definitely some value to be found for sure.
So Hope, as a cardio club member myself, are you going to be doing a cardio club?
Yeah, I'm excited. I didn't really draft a lot of BBM last year, so I'm excited this year. I'm kind of going in and doing it full this year, so I plan to do that. I'm excited. Can't wait for it to drop. I know Pete's, I'm sure, got some good ideas for it and things like that. I'm excited to see what he's got cooked up.
You think jumping in the sauna is going to count?
I would. That'd be awesome.
Drafting in the sauna?
Drafting in a sauna? I mean, that'd be fun. It'd be possible. I don't know. I'd be worried about my phone overheating. I feel like every time I've had my phone in the sauna, it just overheats.
All right. I specifically picked Michael Thomas just so I could pick Derek Carr for Davis.
Nice.
There you go.
I got Derek Carr in my one before this. It wasn't naked, but, I had Olave and Mike Thomas.
Yeah, drafting and exercising, by the way, very, very interesting thing to do, because sometimes you're sweating so bad and you're like trying to hold the phone and sweat's going everywhere and you're trying to wipe your face and pay attention while still riding. Like, I have a Peloton, so I rode that last year, and you're trying to do what you're supposed to do on the Peloton while draft. It is very intriguing. And you also will draft some probably terrible teams that you hate. Yeah. It's fun, but it's interesting.
Oh, that's what I've noticed. I've tried doing a couple drafts at my gym I go to, and the Wi-Fi in there is terrible, and it just doesn't run on the Wi-Fi, so I have to turn it off. But then, the internet's, or the Verizon or whatever, is not great in there, so it's gonna be tough. I might have to figure out some other ways to get those done than just at the gym, but I don't know.
I thought about buying one of those desk treadmills, those really small ones that you can just kind of walk and jog with at the desk.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah. Pete might have to do that to stream all of his
and
get in the cardio club.
He's insane. 150. Yeah, that's
I'm awesome. Get one of those self-exercisers from like the 50s that you saw in Mad Men.
Oh yeah, the ones that
women
would
like wrapping around their bellies. I'm just gonna do that, like just drafting.
You'll be trying to pick your like fingers, wigging out.
Yeah, having back spasms. What do you have to do on a Peloton other than ride? Do they like quiz you?
Well, it depends.
If match you colors and stuff too, or
so there's different things. Like, you can take a class. Obviously, then you kind of got to pay attention and like do what they're telling you to do, or you can just take like a nice leisurely stroll along the Pacific,
the Thames,
Rome,
the River
or wherever
Thames.
you choose. But I like to do the classes because honestly, like, I'm not going to push myself very hard. Like, I'm a lot more lazy than I really should be. So if someone's telling me like, all right, amp your shit up, right, then I do it. But then I lose track of the draft at the same time. So it's a toss up.
Don't tell me what to do, computer.
Oh no, Kendall can tell me what to do.
Oh, yeah, you got a little personal thing going on there.
Yeah, they have some pretty cool instructors. I will give it to them.
I will say, I had on my previous job, we had a company gym, and it had a Peloton in there that anyone could use and create an account. So I used it a few times. It was actually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It would be something I would definitely invest in at some point. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I can see that because you have to turn the little dial to speed yourself up or change, and if you're not paying attention to the instructor, it could be tough.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they get mad at you or anything, but still, it's a tough thing to try to do.
Let's see your builds here. Got Hope with 2, 3, 6, 1. Andrew, where are you at?
I'm 2272.
And I am 1551. I like it. I am going to keep avoiding tight end and quarterback. Duck it. Let's see. Lean into that Dallas stack. Got all 3 starting receivers in Dak.
Nice.
Probably leaving with Ferguson, as long as one of you two or Ginder or DK don't snipe me. It's a lot of people to snipe me.
It's bold. It's bold, man. You picked the guy who's going to throw the most interceptions in the league too.
Back-to-back years.
Oh yeah, man. He made me money last year. We're going 2 for 2.
Ginder loves his Peloton.
Oh, I know he does. He has both the bike and the treadmill.
Damn.
So shout out to Peloton Ginder.
All right, I'm back up in a couple of picks. Probably still avoiding tight end and running back. Where are we at here? Damn. I want another receiver, but I just keep feeling myself just constantly pulled towards Zeke Elliott. I just keep getting pulled in.
Over your man Deontay Foreman.
Not stacking him with anybody else, so this is a naked Bears draft for me, it looks like.
Good.
I was in a draft the other day with Hope, and I sniped Chase Claypool from her.
Yes.
Wow. What a snipe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Deep stuff.
What was that, 18th round? Is that where he's at now?
So, yeah, he was way back there.
Where he should be.
He was way back there.
That was tough. I kind of had to take, like, right when the big board dropped in February that he was going to be, a pretty good pick because, like, they traded, basically a first-round pick for him. They're going to force the ball to him, but does not seem
I don't know about forcing the ball to him.
This was pre-DJ Moore trade.
Yeah.
But I see some big weeks still. I mean, if I'm talking about Robert Woods coming down with a couple multi-touchdown weeks, Chase Claypool is certainly in the range of outcomes.
Your Bears better amp up their passing opportunities because last year was just dreadful.
I don't know, man. I can't remember what account this is. There's an account on Twitter that keeps posting like all of Justin Fields' deep balls until next season or until training camp. I was just like, man, same thing. Almost like Zeke Elliott, just keep getting myself pulled in. I don't know. I'm starting to buy it a little bit. Saw Zeke running around garbage cans the other day. I'm in. Let's go. Let's go.
He was running around a bunch of himself.
Good job there. I like that. I always love a garbage can season when these guys are just running around these little garbage cans and they just look amazing. They just look great.
I do think, though, if you're going to pick any Zeke at all, just grab him now because he will get that round, maybe 2-round bump whenever he does sign. And just like a natural thing that'll happen where not being on a team pushes you down. So as soon as he signs, he will go up a round or two. So if you do want him at all, he may even go more depending on the situation. But yeah, I'd grab him now, him and Fournette.
Yeah. I saw Davis said, I'm going to complete a slow draft while cardio clubbing. God. Jeez. Well, we'll see you later, Davis, because I'm pretty sure you will die by the end of that.
Let's see. In round 15 here, any late stacks that you like? Anything that you can get from this space and out? Round 15 or later?
All right.
Matthew Stafford's a great one right now because you could still grab him. It looks like Higby probably went a little bit earlier, but then Van Jeff's back there. You could do 2-2 if you wanted. But yeah, the Stafford, Van Jeff, Higby. Puka Nacua, is that?
Yeah, Puka,
okay.
yeah.
I need to
disrespect for Ben Skoranek. I won't allow it.
Oh, Jesus. Come
Skoranek.
on. Yeah, Puka's an interesting pick. If you take Stafford, I like Puka a lot, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to start adding him. I don't think I picked him yet.
Oh, Ginder's saying don't take Stafford.
Paul just sniping me here on Sam Laporta.
You took 2 quarterbacks already, Gindy. You don't get to tell us no.
I really wish somebody was in between me and him so they could take him because I don't want him. Ah, Jeff Wilson.
Got 2 quarterbacks already. What are you talking about?
I know. He's the guy who likes 4 quarterbacks.
He's the guy who likes 4. I saw someone take 4 tight ends in a draft last night. I guess depending on what the rest of your roster looks like, if you just completely fade tight end until the very end, I guess that's okay to do. I would prefer to only take 3. They did not. It was all throughout. So I was, thank you for the value. I probably appreciate it.
Oh, Mike Robb in the chat here. Missed a few of the live streams because of life, but is the Robs doing well? Big shout out to Mommy Rob too. Yes, Mike Robb. The Rob family is doing well. Sleep is here and there as the baby sleeps, which is only during the day. So yeah, I mean, everything's going well, but my wife is recovering quite nicely as well from the C-section. So yeah, everything's going good. Appreciate you reaching out and asking.
Let's see. I just picked Taysom Hill here. What are you guys doing with Taysom this year? It's a crowded tight end room. Now,
I have
especially
a lot
when
of Taysom. I have a lot of Taysom.
I just think like on this build I did with having Andrews, you get a guy who hopefully you're not going to need that often, but when you do, it's because he scores 2 touchdowns, with 2 1-yard touchdowns or whatever. So I still think he's going to score goal line touchdowns. What was he this past year? Like tight end 6 or something in half PPR?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just look at the total points scored the last 2 years, like on underdog format. Like even if he does, even if he has a 25% drop on that production, he's still fantastic value where he's going.
Yeah, I like taking him if I take Alvin Kamara or Kendry Miller or Jamal Williams, like any of those guys who run the ball. I like taking him to kind of do a weird stack with them.
How are you guys approaching Alvin Kamara? So I haven't picked him yet, and so I need to, I think, start mixing him in, but it's kind of it's a tough situation.
I have a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably have more than I really should, but it's just if he comes back and has only like a small suspension, or even if it gets pushed, his value is just tremendous right now. So yeah, I have taken way more than I probably should, but I mean the value is just there until we hear otherwise that he is not suspended. I mean, I'm just gonna keep trying to take him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he thought this was funny the other night. He was asking me about this. I didn't know Harry Styles was in One Direction. I also don't know anybody from One Direction or a lot.
I don't know anyone. Like, is someone supposed to? Like, I know that one song.
I don't even know.
Oh, Ginder. He sits on an island by himself. His One Direction island.
Damn. That one song, "You're So Beautiful." I don't know. I don't even know it anymore. It's so old.
It's not my type of music, so yeah, I don't ever listen to it.
Come on, dude. You listened to Backstreet Boys when you were a kid. Come on now.
Right. I mean, if anything,
It's
I
no
listened to
different.
NSYNC a little bit back in the day, but
it's no different. NSYNC, Backstreet, the same damn thing.
Oh, don't say that around my wife. She will. She's an NSYNcer.
They were both super hot.
Let's see. Yeah. One would say they were maybe 98 degrees.
What if you had Derek Carr though? Oh, you like your cars naked. That's right. That's right.
Even in a fire. Okay.
That's bold. I'm not gonna go that bold. Yeah. I definitely need to mix it some Alvin Kamara because if he comes back, and I haven't even considered him not getting a suspension though. So that is interesting. I'll have to. I
mean, I think that's a very small possibility, but I mean, even if they come back, and I mean, the NFL's so weird with how they dish out their suspensions. I mean, Calvin Ridley bets on a game, he's gone for a year.
Yeah.
Somebody hits their wife, they're out for like 4 games. So
right.
I mean, true. Who knows? So I mean, if the small chance that he only gets 2 or 4 games, his value here is awesome. If he happens to get no suspension, then it's lights out where it is. And if he gets 6, I still feel like where he's going now, it's settled at an okay spot. But if I do take Kamara, I do usually try to get Kendry Miller or one of those other guys to kind of fill in for him, or Perine's a great pick too. I mean, because Perine, by the time Kamara would come back, Javonte Williams might be there and Perine might fall back. So just trying to put somebody in that place until Kamara gets back is a pretty good strategy.
Yeah, hopefully they don't add anyone else because there's been some talk of that recently about them adding another running back, and that'll
please don't let it be Dalvin Cook.
That would end it. That would end it for sure.
I don't think that will. Yeah, that'd be a weird room.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got the 3 already and Taysom, it's tough.
Yeah.
Andrew, you want to hit a quick word from Talkify?
I sure do. After my next pick, because I'm up next.
That's fine.
I mean, we don't want. I'll leave the suspension on Talkify because people are probably like, "What is Talkify?" Oh, you want to know what Talkify is?
Who is Talkify?
Man, this is going to be one of my first shares of Leonard Fournette, but I think it's a good time to take him with my build of like not any running backs here. All right. Talkify. Life is full of what ifs. So what if you try something new when it comes to dating? Talkify is a new way to meet others, serious singles. What if they help you find what you're looking for? Talkify is the country's #1 modern matchmaking service that is designed to help you achieve relationship success. Their trusted compatibility specialists hand select successful and compelling candidates so you can date consciously and productively. Then they'll select and screen potential match candidates for you, doing background checks, video interviews, and asking the tough questions that you are too awkward for first dates. And right now, Talkify is offering our listeners 20% off when you become a client at Talkify.com/SGPN. That's TAWKIFY.com/SGPN for 20% off when you become a client. Talkify.com/SGPN.
And the SGPN Fantasy Football team is giving away a Lamar Jackson jersey in the month of May. Leave a 5-star review on our Apple or Spotify podcast to enter. Please just DM us your review at SGPN Fantasy on Twitter to enter. The winner will be selected May 31st. Hope, want to ask you about a couple of late-round quarterbacks and maybe just like their offenses in general. Sam Howell and Desmond Ridder. Do you have a favorability between the two or either situation for either offense?
Definitely Sam Howell for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I that last game he played was awesome, right? And his last year at North Carolina, what did he run for? 800, 900 yards?
Yeah, he's
Something
sneaky
like
good
that.
on the ground.
Yeah, he's super exciting. I hope that he, beats out Jacoby Brissett, because that was a worry I had in the big board, with them giving Jacoby that deal and him being pretty good last year for Cleveland. I kind of got nervous about that maybe, they're bringing in him to start. But no, I love Sam Howell. I think the weapons in Washington are awesome. Let me make this pick real quick. But yeah, give me Sam Howell over Ridder. The Falcons are so tough. Like, obviously, I love their weapons and I love Bijan, but that team's just gonna run so much that I'm worried about the pass volume. And then Ridder is athletic, but he really didn't run that much in college. And maybe he can this year. But yeah, I'm Sam Howell over Ridder.
I've been taking both.
I told you Hope knows
what
she's talking about.
Yeah, big Sam Howell supporter on the stream with consistency here.
What about Howell and Mac Jones?
I mean, Mac's tough, right? Like the weapons are terrible. The new offensive coordinator, but I don't know. Probably Howell again. Like, if Howell is the starter there with McLaurin, you got Dotson. I like Bieniemy coming in too. Like, that's just seems like such a fun situation. And like you said, having that mobility is so huge. For the extra 2, 3, 4 points a game potentially that he could give you on a week to week basis. So I still think I'm Howell there. Obviously, Mac's probably like more guaranteed to start all 17 games than Howell by a little bit, but I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know if I trust that.
There's
been some tensions there between Mac and Bill.
There has been. I think Mac's got Robert Kraft on his side.
Ooh, that helps.
Which, Robert Kraft doesn't meddle too much. So I think if Bill believes Zappy's better, he will go to him. And we saw him go to him last year and start him even when Matt came back.
They were splitting reps at one point, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. That's still Howell though for me on that one.
I've been a little bit more bullish on Ridder recently. I took a lot of Howell in the big board because I just love stacking. I just love stacking the commandos. They're just so deep on offense, I feel like, especially at running back. Yeah. But I've been watching some of the tape on Ridder, especially from that last game up against the Bucs, and I saw a lot more improvement in, I thought, his footwork and just as a way to make the pocket more mobile. Like extending the play with his legs. There's even this like really weird clip of him just doing like this little like shuffle back and forth thing as he's backing up. It worked on the play, but it was just like, man, like, you can see that he's getting out a lot faster. He's going through his reads a lot better. So I think, both of those guys have, some bright 2023s ahead.
He's got the weapons. So yeah, if, they can easily elevate him to some good fantasy weeks. And if he does use his legs, like we know he probably can, I think they're both fine late throws. I think also just being able to find your guy. That's what I liked about Howell, is when he came in, he was able to connect with Terry. And I felt like that's like what always propelled Heineke into the lineup, because whenever he was out there, he was just always looking Terry's ways, always getting involved in the offense. And I thought the same thing of Howell with McLaurin and Ridder with London in that last game. Yeah. London got a lot of work from him, a lot of targets. So if you're looking out for your top guy, usually, we're getting back good results in fantasy, and, maybe not so much for their wins and losses, but we're happy.
Yep.
All right, you want to go and grade some teams here, Andrew?
Yeah, saying I got some feedback from some of the people. We forgot to do friends and family, reading of the teams and giving them a grade. So let's make sure we keep them happy here as well. So Hope, you are the guest. If you want to go ahead and read your team.
Yeah, so at quarterback, I've got Lamar and Jared Goff. Did a 2 QB build here. I've got Lamar stacked up with Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews. And I've only got Goff stacked up with Amon-Ra. At running back, I got Bijan. I got the Robinson brothers here, Bijan and Brian Robinson. Smudge Fear. I'm more of kind of like an anchor build, and then added on 5 RBs. I like my late picks with Tank and Zach Evans here, some rookie handcuffs. They got some good draft capital, or Tank did for sure. And then wide receiver, I'm a little weak on. I think Amon-Ra, Chris Godwin, Taylor Lockett, Gabe, Bateman. And then I got some deep shot guys in Jalen Hyatt, Tyquan, and Darius Slayton late. And then Taysom Hill is my tight end too, to hopefully be there in Mark Andrews' down games.
Yeah, I actually like this team. I of course I like the Jackson Andrews stack there. The running backs are interesting. I like, obviously I'm a Brian Robinson guy, but love Samaje, Raheem Mostert. I mean, God knows what Miami's going to do yet, so that's a still a good pick. And I'm actually a big believer in Zach Evans. I think he's going to beat out Kyron Williams, and I just don't like Cam Akers. I think he's a little overrated, and I'm not sure how much they truly trust him. So I like that a lot. And your wide receiver room, I mean, we kind of skipped over Amon-Ra after you picked him, but I wanted to hit on something. Like, that dude outside of Michael Thomas has had like the most reception or the most targets in the first 3 years of his career out of like any other wide receiver. Like his target share is absolutely elite. It kind of falls off right after him. So I think you scooped up the last, elite target share guy before, the drop off. So I like your team. I'd give it about an 8.5.
Yeah.
I put up 9. I like it a lot. It's really not dissimilar to a lot of teams that I draft. I love going to quarterback, love going to tight end, especially post schedule release. Just helps you get all this depth at running back and receiver. Big on take Bigsby as well as Zach Evans. I think both of those guys have some good landing spots. Peterson wants to use multiple running backs. I see a reality where Johnson, Etienne, and Tank have roles. And if you see a domino fall with an injury, that's a great situation to be in. Love Samaje, as we've been saying. Those top 2 Robinsons, also love the value. Getting Bijan a couple of picks back. Brian Robinson right at ADP. Loving that. He's just a guy that has the opportunity to be an RB1 at pick plus 100. I love it. Tyquan Thornton, I've been getting a little bit more exposure to. Getting like any sort of Patriot stacks, that's been kind of my favorite at the back end because they're super discounted and no one is buying them right now. Right. No one's buying Mac. No one's buying Devontae Parker. Mike Gesicki, I've picked up in the past couple of drafts. So Tyquan Thornton as well. Really like that spot. So yeah, I give it a 9.
Yeah. I think those are fair grades. Yeah, I think the wide receiver position's a little weak, but I like everything else. So yeah, I think it's a fair grade.
Yeah, I like Jalen Hyatt a lot where he's going. So
I
I feel like he's gonna get juiced up a little bit more. I think he's gonna climb the board a bit. So I like getting in on him where you did.
Yeah, wait till that camp video comes out, man. Yeah, he's gonna be a guy that goes up.
Yeah.
Coach talk too. It's not gonna be healthy. Who's up next? Who we got?
I guess I'll go next real quick. So I have Joe Burrow, Derek Carr, stacked up Burrow with Higgins, Boyd, and then also I obviously have the correlation week 17 with Kansas City, Isaiah Pacheco, and Rashee Rice. I took Derek Carr, mashed him up with unfortunately Michael Thomas. I got to keep that exposure down because I'm not sure if that Michael Thomas is even going to play. But then I also paired him up with Juwan Johnson. So running backs, CMC, Pacheco, Jeff Wilson, Chuba Hubbard, Lenny, and Kareem Hunt. Obviously, the Lenny and Kareem Hunt, God knows what's going to happen with both those guys, but I might get lucky with at least one of them. Wide receivers, Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, Michael Thomas, Tyler Boyd, Rashee Rice, and Josh Downs. Tight ends, David Njoku, Juwan Johnson.
8.5. I mean, the only knock I'm going to have is that you just have 2 running backs that aren't on a team, but they're both going to be on a team at some point.
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But no, otherwise, I mean, I love your receivers. I love every single one of these receivers. Rashee Rice, Josh Downs at the back end at their value. Absolutely love it. Rashee, you took a little bit ahead of ADP, but where you were positioned, I think that's, fair.
Yeah, I did it for the correlation. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I absolutely love it. As long as KC doesn't sign Dalvin Cook.
Oh, God, please.
All right. You're going to be all right. All right. I will go next. All right. Dak Prescott, Desmond Ridder. Waited till, second to last pick for Desmond Ridder. Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Dalvin Cook, David Montgomery, Jerick McKinnon, Zeke Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, DeAndre Hopkins, JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Brandon Cooks, Jacoby Myers, Michael Gallup, Rondell Moore, Mac Hollins, last pick, last 2-round stack with him and Ridder, and Chigakonwu and Michael Mayer. DK Dilly Snipe me on Jimmy G. So that was sad.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I'd give it an 8. Again, I mean, I love your Chig pick. I just, yeah, I really like Chig.
I feel a little exposed at tight end. Like it's not ideal.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, that's one of those positions that you kind of can be a little bit exposed at, because I mean, that's what should be your lowest scoring position, outside of, maybe if you get Kelsey or if Andrews has a, lights out year. So I think it's okay to be a little weak at tight end.
That's pretty it's not good.
So Hope, if you don't mind, so normally Justin and I will go through friends and families teams and just kind of grade them, say if we like anything about them or if we don't like anything about them. But it's always the same people. So I think if we just read the teams to you, tell you who we're talking about, then maybe you give them the grade so that they don't think that we're playing favorites.
Okay.
So we'll start with the 12 position, DKM Dilly. His quarterbacks, Trey Lance, Jimmy G. Running backs, Austin Eckler, Jonathan Taylor, Rashad Penny, Elijah Mitchell, Jamal Williams, Gus Edwards. Wide receiver, Deebo Samuel, DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, Jahan Dotson, Zay Flowers, Alan Lazard, MVS. Tight ends, George Kittle, Tyler Conklin, and Isaiah Likely.
I like this team. I just worry about the quarterback position there with just having Trey Lance and Jimmy G. I think that's a big risk of a room to go into the season with. But I love this RB room. I love the positional value spin where you took 2 at the top and then waited until the 10th round to take another one. I think that's really smart. I like the receivers on this team a lot. And I love the stacks. Like, you've got the full Trey. Like, if Trey Lance is the starter, I mean, you've got every piece of that team. I like doing the mega stacks, but I'm just kind of worried about Trey Lance and him being the starter there. So I don't know, that uncertainty. I probably go 8, maybe, just because of that uncertainty. But I really like all the positions except quarterback there.
Okay. Moving on to the 5 spot, Team Ramrod. Quarterbacks, Justin Fields, Anthony Richardson, Matt Stafford. Running backs, Alexander Madison, AJ Dillon, Devin Achane, Tyler Algier, Chase Brown, Jerome Ford. Wide receiver, Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman, Jonathan Mingo, Chase Claypool, and Puka Nacua. And tight ends, Kyle Pitts, Cole Kmet.
I like this team a lot. The only change I'd probably make is I probably wouldn't have added Stafford and maybe done a 7th RB, just because it's a pretty 0 RB team. So I think maybe adding that when you already have, you're spent a lot of quarterback with Justin Fields and Anthony Richardson. I think you're making a pretty big bet on those 2 guys, in the top 70 picks. I probably wouldn't have done Stafford, just added someone else, but I like this team a lot. It looks like a really solid team. I like the stacks it's got. So yeah, I'd probably go 9 on it. I like that team a lot.
Man, you just made his head swell up so much.
I like it too, though. That's
so do I.
That's the same grade I would have given him.
It's not a bad team. It is funny though. You can see that he definitely takes guys that we end up talking about. He's not I can tell you he doesn't have a lot of Jerome Ford.
He said let him have
Puka.
Stafford.
Yeah,
he was very clear on it.
Shout out Gindy. At least he listens. I talked to him a lot about best ball, and I know he's definitely taken some pointers from me over the years. So shout out to him.
Stafford is all stacked up too, which is great. Like, if you're going to do that third, I just don't know with the amount you spent on the other 2 if I would have done a 3rd QB. I'm not sure on the bye week situation though, but I don't know if that factored in or not.
Yep. So the only other person we have here is Paul, which I think he followed you in. So do you want to rank his team too?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I usually like Paul's teams, so I'm sure this is going to be another good team. We got Chase, took the two RBs here in the 2nd, 3rd. I like Mike Williams, Christian Watson, Jordan Addison. Gets Waller stacked up with Daniel Jones, Jameson Williams. Got Sky Moore here, Sky Moore is a tough click for me right now in the 10th round. Let's see, Kendre Miller, Jalen Warren. I love those 2 backs. Got Jordan Love, Sam Howell on this team, Dwayne McBride. Got Sam Howell stacked up with Curtis Samuel, and then Sam Laporta as an upside tight end 2 with Waller. Yeah, that's a good team. Yeah, that one's a 9 for sure. It could have been a 10 if you didn't snipe me on Sam Laporta, but other than that, it's an awesome team.
That's happened to me a few times. I don't like it. I always think that Sam Laporta is going to sit. Like, he's just going to fall, but then they don't have anybody there, so I guess it makes sense. Like, he gets a little bit of a bump of priority in the drafts.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool.
It's awesome. Team.
Hope, do you have anything to share before we head out? You've been a great guest. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. This was an absolute blast. I love your guys' show. But yeah, follow my YouTube, Ian Davis, who's in the chat here. We're streaming now twice a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays. Over on my channel, it's just my name, Hope A Bishop, and then our show's called Road to 150. So yeah, check us out Tuesday, Thursdays, and then I'll occasionally pop up for a solo stream every now and again on there as well. So yeah, come check us out. We'll be drafting all summer long.
Yeah, I can vouch for Hope. The streams are awesome, and it's funny. Like I came in around like maybe like subscriber 80, and you are you are flying off the shelves now, as they say. So just keep up the good work. It's awesome, and for all the sickos out here who are just like us, I mean, almost every day you can find a stream to go off of.
Yeah.
You know, just between the two shows here to do a best ball draft. So make sure you check out Hope's show. Her and Davis have a very good connection. It is funny to hear you guys kind of combat each other, but also agree at the same time. So it's a great show.
Yeah, it's a great balance. You know, I'll come from it as more of like, I kind of like, can buy into the hype around players and stuff. And Davis will bring me back down to earth, be like, no, okay, this is really, well, what the stats say, or this is what his production actually was. And no, we have a good balance there, and it's a good time.
Love it. Andrew, anything to share before we head out?
No, man, I don't think so. We got another show coming up here, another draft. Or do we not want to leak that yet?
Tuesday or Thursday, I don't know.
Tuesday
yet.
or Thursday? Okay. Let's say
I don't know yet.
Could be special.
I gotta move tomorrow with Emerson to Monday, so we'll see what happens here.
Okay. No, man, I'm good.
Appreciate everybody riding along with us. Be sure to smash the like button on YouTube. Give us a download and a review on Spotify or Apple. We appreciate all of our followers and watchers. Take care. Be well. Be good. If you can't be good at it. We'll see.